Back again with another video. Now in this video I want to speak a little bit about this whole government shutdown, and as a result CalFresh, EBT, SNAP, basically food stamps. They cutting food stamps. Now I'm not sure if it's indefinitely, but how long ever the government is shut down. And it's probably going to be for 2 months. The government probably, my guess is, going to be shut down for the holidays. They all out on vacation, and they going to have everybody else starve, the lower class people. Perhaps it's a smite at the lower class people. But let's explore. Let's break it down. Now, for one, could it possibly be due to this whole immigration and a lot of illegal immigrants, not only just immigrants, which is cool, legal, but illegal immigrants was receiving a whole lot of these social benefits. So I guess this is Trump or the right's way of adding insult to injury, I guess. But as a result, a lot of other people was getting affected, as you know by now. And you seeing a lot of videos. It's a whole bunch of videos of primarily, that I've seen, primarily African American people, mainly women, not all, basically expressing that they're gonna start looting if their benefits get cut. So this is what I gotta say about that. Alright. See, this the thing, y'all. We gotta be careful not to get caught up into the propaganda, because when that happens, you prove certain stereotypes right and you play into the stereotypes. So you posting a video, and whether you plan on doing it or not, whether you just doing it for entertainment, or you think it's cute or for attention, it's basically gonna get used against you, and it's gonna get plastered. And again, I don't know if these is just a handful of videos that's just blasted out everywhere like propaganda, but nevertheless, it's not really a good look. Because here we go with the old, look at these Negroes, they animals, they looting and this and this and that. Which, truth be told, is more white people or non-African Americans that receive these benefits than African Americans. Truth be told. So it's a lot of people about to be affected by this. Now I know we the poster child of the lower class, but nah, make no mistake, everybody, a lot of people gonna be feeling this. I was at the supermarket earlier today, and it was empty, and I didn't really too much notice it, but the dude behind the counter, the meat market, he was saying it like it's empty, and they basically was expressing they noticed of, because they know them food stamps is cut, you know. And I can see places where people laughing like where all the Negroes are, where they at now? The food stamps cut, everybody joking like it's quiet now. But the dude behind the counter who worked at the meat market, he was like, man, I'm getting hit too. So, and he wasn't black. He like, I'm getting hit too, you know. And that just reminded me, it made me think about like, yeah, it's a whole bunch of people, it ain't just us, you know. And then another thing I want to point out, that honestly, y'all, a lot of the people that's stealing, been stealing. This ain't got nothing to do with these food stamps. And don't get me wrong, a lot of families gonna feel it, but it's always been people stealing. What didn't we just see, or isn't it tons of footage out there of people rushing in places, and not even just the YNs, just people stealing. This is nothing new. So the boosters still gonna be boosting. So let's not play into the whole propaganda, because now I'm assume every crime is gonna get blamed on the food stamps not being there. Now, this is not to say now if you got a female stealing milk and cereal and all that, but even then, I done seen boosters do that now, like a month ago. So, people that still gonna steal. I'm gonna put it like that. Now, it still don't mean people is not gonna be affected, and I'm about to speak to that because this says a few things. And on a side note, it's gonna get worse before it get better. Now, whether this cut is only gonna be for a few months to the holidays or a month, or if it's gonna be forever ever, people need to start getting prepared. It appears that under this administration, and I ain't even gonna blame it under this administration, it could just be the sign of the times, regardless who in office. Certain things was probably due to happen or planned on happening anyway. So the gap has already been widening between rich and poor, but it's pretty much no middle class, it's working class. And a lot of the poor are getting squeezed out the box entirely and basically onto these homeless tents and then did away with ultimately, being that they gonna cut the social programs, because we used to always hear about, and we still hear it from time to time occasionally, that we need to tax the rich and the wealthy, raise taxes on them. But what a lot of people, especially a lot of people on the left, didn't understand is the majority of rich people don't make money like you. They don't earn income. They don't work for a living. Either they got investments or they own a business. So when you raise taxes, it's just gonna hurt you because they not paying taxes at the individual level. You understand? And you need to understand that you can take advantage of them benefits as well. Now, of course, you may not be grossing as much money as them, but you still can take advantage of certain benefits. Now, I know there are real good benefits in play for the more money you make, but yet still you can still take advantage. But anyway, I ain't gonna get too off point, but I just want to kind of put that out there. But they turning up the dial. So you got to do something. You about to be forced to do something. So this is one aspect of it. Now you got some people who've been working, not necessarily rich or upper middle class, and people who traditionally turned their nose up at lower class people as being lazy or whatever. They clapping like, yeah, now this will make y'all get off y'all ass and do that. Now, don't get me wrong, you may got some lazy people that have been taking advantage of the system or whatnot, and yeah, that's gonna force their ass to get off their ass or whatever. But you still got a lot of people that ain't just necessarily lazy. Man, you got a lot of women, man, with these kids for whatever reason. They need that. You got a lot of older people, they need that. You got a lot of just people, period. You ain't necessarily gotta have no kids. You got a lot of single people out there. Because I understand as a single man how you kind of really just get forgot about and you get tax higher. So I know, but it's a method to the madness. But at the same time, I made a reference about being forced to come together, and it's better to do it on your own volition as opposed to being forced. But either way, it's gonna have to come together, man, to some degree. And this is where, and I ain't even gotta mention groups of the past that been pushing this as far as togetherness for times like this. And not even necessarily times like this, so it won't ever be times like this. More importantly, to whereas the basic needs is taken care of, food, clothing, shelter, medical, education, all that's basic standard human needs, man, one-on-one to live. That's stuff that shouldn't cost, but I ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole. But I would say now that institutions probably need to start being implemented more so to supplement and to absorb the the impact of this poverty or this recession or whatever y'all want to call it. Because then another thing, because I have seen some videos already, the looting and all this under the name of them cutting the food stamps. And it's like, man, is this propaganda? Like, come on, like, some people, are y'all that stupid? Like, is this the typical one-on-one now all of a sudden? Because we've been having, like, again, cats running up in stuff. Now, we're going to kill two birds with one stone. Now we're about to hike up on certain other laws because of the theft. I don't know. I just feel like the classic Trojan horse trick. And I ain't even necessarily speaking into them cutting the funding, but more or less to the response of it. And again, this is just in the internet world. A lot of them videos could be propaganda. I gotta mention AI. Nowadays you ain't even gotta have hired actors or sellouts or bootlegs. You can generate and create one. They got a standard AI format of how a black person, a person in any group gonna look, any age, any race, any sex, tons, 100,000 of different looks. So it's nothing to really, especially people that know what they're doing on that, to do that and create that. Then you got thousands of videos going viral of young blacks, quote unquote, or women or whatever the narrative is, saying a particular narrative, pushing for rioting or stealing, or whatever the case is. So you got to be aware of that as well, man. But all I'm gonna say is, man, don't fall for the hype when it comes to now. Again, if you starving, really, and especially if you got some children or whatever, I'm sure in your area there's plenty of churches, Google, that's available. But at the same time, we need to do for ourselves anyway, just so this situation won't happen, and more or less. But until that happens on the individual basis, man, you got to get your shit together, period. And this is to all of us. I don't even care if you're doing okay. You got to get your shit together, because like I said, most of us is a few paychecks away anyway from each other being broke. I don't care how much you're making out there. You miss a few paychecks, you might be ass out. And even the people that may have a little cushion, because that's getting ate up every day. And this is where the whole investing and all that. But in general, if your ass got to get up and go to work, you're on that plantation, man. So welcome to the rat race or whatever. But I ain't gonna go too far down the rabbit hole. Point is, man, don't play into that bullshit, and we ain't the face of poverty. Now, unfortunately, we definitely be in the face of being oppressed, but I ain't gonna get into all that. But just stay cool out there, man, and reach out to people.